Welcome back to the Tradesman channel. My name is Jim, and if you caught the last video, we're building out my new work truck. So as I said in the previous video, my company got me a new work truck. It's a small box truck. I love it. It rides nice. It has a lot of room, and it's so much quieter than my van with the metal racks. So last one out, we built a lower cabinet and a workbench about 1.5 inches thick, 2 layers of AC plywood glued and screwed together. We've got the Craftsman tool chest in there. Now we're working on the upper cabinet. So I've got all the pieces cut. I spared you the boring parts of all the table saw and the jigsaw and all that good stuff and the cross cutting and the ripping. So right now all we're going to be doing is we're going to use our handy dandy Craig tool, get all our pocket hole screws in. We're going to screw and glue and hopefully get this thing set in place tonight. So stay tuned and I'll catch you on the other side of it. I like to start on the biggest piece of lumber I have to worry about first, and I like to orient it something like this right in the direction it's going to go. So we're using a 500 series Craig pocket hole jig. This thing works fantastically well. It's probably the fastest Craig jig I've ever used. And I've owned most of them at one time or another. I think we have plenty.
There's a brush. I didn't know what to do.
Alright.
Oh. I didn't know this is how we used to make shelves.
Yeah. That scare you?
Every single time. Every
Well, we've got one side pretty well done in here. I have lights to go under each of these. We're going to have 3 of them, so we have some light on this bench. Now, this thing's pretty bright. There's only 1 light in here, but the ceiling's a little bit translucent, so you get natural daylight in here. It's actually quite bright. I'm curious how it's going to hold up though, but I'm assuming it'll be fine. Stuff's on box trucks all over the place. So this is one side of it. Now I'm going to put metal on the back here. I've got a piece to cut to put on there. We're going to use that to hold my magnetic trays, magnetic levels, my laser level, things like that. Just things that we can just stick there, because obviously I can't drive around with this bench covered in stuff. So I'm going to be forced to keep this thing cleaned off and things put away. But I can tell you this, with just this side of the truck done, I already have more storage and noise than I've ever had in any of my work vans. I mean, I've been doing this work close to 20 years, and I've always worked either out of a pickup truck or just a regular service van. It's probably kind of loud and annoying. Really didn't need to open those, because obviously you folks know that those are just cupboards and cupboard doors. So I've never had a nice place just to lay things out to work on it. Sometimes you get in some of these mechanical rooms that I'm in, some of these boiler rooms, sometimes it's so friggin' hot you can't think. Sometimes it's so dark and murky and crappy you can't see what you're doing. You can't find a comfortable place to work where you're not just going to get covered in everything. And to be honest with you, sometimes you may just want to yank something apart or troubleshoot when you can think without an audience. And that happens a lot in my field, because, you know, nothing against the customers. They're curious. They want to know why their equipment's broken, why it's not working. Sometimes you get a maintenance guy who wants you to teach him the trade through your service calls, And for a person in my field, that's kind of a mixed feeling. You know, some of them you don't mind, some of them you don't. I don't know. It's kind of an odd thing. Some of us really don't want to give our trade away, but at the same time, it's good to help people. So you have to find that balance there. And some things you just don't want people touching because you don't want them to get hurt. But so this is going to be a really nice mobile workspace. So the next time out, we're going to start working on the other side of this truck. And that's for the pipe rack, the B tanks, the refrigerant tanks, all that kind of stuff. We're going to get some specific racking built for that. And I've got another wooden chest I need to make, but we're going to do it with slide out drawers for my reclaim machine or my recovery machine, my vacuum pumps, all that kind of stuff. We have to have a spot to hang extension cords. We're going to put a 6-foot and a 4-foot ladder in here. That's going to go on this end past this bench. We have our bench vise mounted. That's a 5-inch vise. It also swivels and the bottom of it becomes a pipe vise. Very handy for what I do. But those don't necessarily grip pipes the best, but I do have a small rigid pipe stand that works great, pipe vise. So that's going to have to get kind of a spot to put away. We have nitrogen tanks we've got to do. The list goes on. But like I said, this right here, this is more storage than anything I've ever had before just in this side alone. So when we get all done with this, we'll go through, we'll do the grand tour, we'll do the grand, how's it all going to work. We've got to put the FRP board down. Remember, smooth side up. I like to do that on workbenches. Got to put our metal on the back, and we're going to be in good shape. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll catch you on the next one.